The DeathAdder line has been around since 2006, and in that time, it's become one of the most recognized ergonomic mice in gaming. For many new PC gamers, it's their first step into the endless rabbit hole of chasing the perfect mouse. Over the years, we've seen classics like the DeathAdder Elite, the V2, and the most recently, the V3 Pro and Hyperspeed models in 2023. Now in 2025, Razer's claiming their biggest leap in tech in a decade with the DeathAdder V4 Pro, and I finally got my hands on one. Let's open this bad boy up. Standard box. Where's the peel? Here we go. Pull right out. The tab is for like nothing. Pretty cool. All right, we got the, what's this called? The dome. Ooh, you can, right off the back, you can feel how light this is. Definitely bigger feet. Oh, it has the new coating on there, which I love this coating. Coating feels so good. Braided cable. Standard braided cable. Really nice. Of course, the manuals. Warranties. Ooh, a little explanation of the dongle. Or the globe now. Ooh, comes with grips. Oh, these are new. I think these are new. I haven't seen those before. And of course, regular booklet. The V3 saw an evolution of the classic DeathAdder shell, making it one of the best ergo mice of that year. The V4 keeps the same shape as the V3, but drops to 56 grams from 63, and the white version adds a gram at 57. The side buttons are now split like the V3 Hyperspeed with more tactile feedback and resistance. They're shorter in length but taller in height, so they feel just as easy to hit without moving their placement. For me, still a perfect thumb spot. The coating's the same as the Hyperspeed and V3. Smooth, soft to the touch, and far better than the slick plastic on the older model. With dry hands, it doesn't slip, and with sweaty hands, it doesn't get sticky. It actually feels more controlled, which makes the mouse feel even lighter while in use. On the bottom, Razer switched to two big PTFE feet, instead of the old model smile design. The PTFE ring around the sensor looks thicker too. The DPI and power switch remain underneath. And yes, Razer fixed the creaking. On the V3, I could squeeze hard and trigger a mouse 5 press. On the V4, solid shell, no flex. The V4 keeps its dimensions at 128 long, 68 millimeters wide, and 44 millimeters tall. The hump sits higher towards the back left, making it excellent for claw and very comfortable for palm or hybrid grips. Fingertip grips work, but the hump gets in the way, limiting movement. The V4 Pro runs Razer's new Focus Pro 45K optical sensor Gen 2 with 900 IPS and 85G max acceleration. That's 99.8% accuracy. In short, it's overkill for single player games, but it's perfect for sweaty FPS sessions. The new optical wheel is redesigned for precision and durability. It feels more tactile with slightly more resistance compared to the V3. My old V3 wheel felt a little tight, and after a couple of years, it's basically felt like a free scroll. The V4's wheel fixes that. And so far, no accidental rollbacks when you stop mid-scroll, and no more surprise weapon swaps or weird cage jumps. Inside, you get Razer's Gen 4 optical switches rated for 100 million clicks. They're redesigned with lighter actuation and better feedback. There's a catch though, they're louder with a noticeable ping. And at first it bugged me, but after a week, I barely noticed it, especially while streaming. If you're sensitive to click sounds though, you'll want to keep that in mind. Let's talk about the new dongle. Now, this one's a big change. Instead of a small USB adapter, you get a weighted dome that sits on your desk. It supports 8K polling right out of the box, no extra purchase needed, but it doesn't support multi-device connectivity. At least not yet. Maybe Razer could fix that in a firmware update. On the front, there are 3 LED indicators for battery, connection status, and polling rate. It also runs on Razer's new Hyperspeed Gen 2 wireless, which is 63% more power efficient with 37% lower latency.
So here's the thing. Dome is weighted, so it won't flop around like the old dongle did when it was connected by USB cable. This thing was pretty light, right? You plug it in and it wouldn't sit still or anything like that. It was rubber on the bottom, but it was no weight to it. This, well, is heavy and it won't move. The problem is it's going to be on your desk permanently. You're going to be using the DeathAdder V4 because it removes the option of actually moving the dongle and plugging it into your USB cable or USB port on your PC. It is something you'll have to consider if you don't want nothing extra on your desk.
And the battery's been upgraded too. It's 150 hours now at 1K polling, 22 hours at 8K polling, and I've been running this thing at 1K for about a week, and I'm still running at about 50%. Those numbers seem accurate, maybe even a little conservative. Gen 2 Hyperspeed really helps here, I think. In Synapse, all the standard Razer options are here. Remapping, hypershift, macros, and up to 5 DPI stages. New features tie into the dongle. Here you can customize those 3 lights in front of the dongle I mentioned earlier. You can change their order, turn them off, or just show what you want. You could even change one of the options into showing your DPI.
Now, let's talk about smart polling.
If you haven't heard of it, it essentially switches your default polling rate to another one when you launch a game. For example, if I normally run at 1000 Hz, turning on CSGO can automatically bump it up to 8K or whatever polling rate you've chosen. This is a great battery saver since it lowers your polling rate back down when high performance isn't needed. And of course, power settings that let you set sleep timers and lower the power threshold, smart tracking, which adjusts your liftoff and landing distance. Now, dynamic sensitivity boosts your DPI temporarily when you have to make those quick moves without moving halfway across your desk. And rotation compensates if you tilt your mouse inward or outward. Mine's set to -5 because I naturally angle towards my keyboard a bit. The V4 Pro fixes almost every flaw from the V3. Rubberized coating, split side buttons, stronger shell, more tactile optical scroll wheel, bigger PTFE feet, and on top of that, it packs new tech. 8K polling, smart polling through Synapse, new Gen 4 optical switches, 150 hours of battery life, new Gen 2 Hyperspeed, Focus Pro 45K sensor, and all this still while being able to drop the weight down to 56 grams. Altogether, I get why Razer is calling this their biggest leap in a decade. But should you upgrade from the V3? Honestly, it depends. For me, the new coating, the tougher wheel, and the redesigned side buttons make it worth it. At $169.99, it's $20 more than the V3 launch price. Honestly, I expected this to cost a bit over $200. But if you already own the V3 and you're happy with it, you might wait until it wears out. For those who always want the latest and greatest tech, yeah, I'm guilty. It's an easy pickup. Otherwise, the DeathAdder V3 is still fantastic. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Affiliate links are at the description if you're thinking about adding this to your loadout.